in the eras of big data, every organizations and businesses, it's at all time attempting to discover and explore the ways to create values with the usage of big data. And that is only be possible with the application of ranges of data analytic tools. Hello, my name is Tze Kang Chan, the expert tutor for Advanced Performance Management, APM. In this topic explainer, I will take you through regarding data analytics. Before watching the following video, it is important to take note, guys, to strongly advise to watch the following topic explainer video, Big Data and Data Analytics, that found in paper Performance Management, PM, prior watching the following part of the topic explainer video. In this discussion on data analytics, the following reference will be made on learning resources that found in the ACCA website, namely Study Hub, on Chapter 8, Section 8.2. And that is found by clicking in and logging into the Study Hub. That is the area that it's pertaining to data analytics. And guys, you are advised to go through the entire of these sections pertaining to big data and data analytics. Apart from the Study Hub, ranges of articles, technical articles, which are found in the ACCA website, which is pertaining to syllabus B. And at one glance, there are nearly 8 articles pertaining to data. What you have to do is to spend time to read through in detail on all these articles that are all interrelated and providing ranges of examples and clear explanation pertaining to the subject matter that found in this topic explainer. Last but not least, ranges of questions that found on the practice platform from the past year's exam questions, practice exam, and specimen exam. These questions would offer the excellent opportunity to see how big data and data analytics would appear in the exam of APM. And by the end of this session, I will show you how one of the exam questions that tends to carry information regarding data analytics after the explanations pertaining to the whole of the concept originating from big data. Firstly, I will take you through to recap what exactly is big data. Then I will spend more of the attention in this topic explainer showing ranges and roles and functions of different types of data analytics. With these, it will then lead to providing ranges of information for performance management. And as mentioned a while ago, with all these understanding, illustrations will be shown based on a past exam questions. As far as the big data is concerned, please watch the video as mentioned a while ago on performance management, PM. That will help to recap the fundamentals characteristics of what big data is all about by referring to the 5 V's: volume, variety, velocity, veracity, last but not least, values. A typical examples of big data that found commonly in the practice and the daily life includes pictures, image, voices, temperatures reading, text, time, financial data, and many more. All these big data are generally found from the following main sources. Firstly, it is found from the ranges of Web 2.0, such as social medias, blogs, podcasts, wikis, and many others. Last but not least, ranges of technology pertaining to Internet of Things, IoT in simple, such as electrical appliances, vehicles, telecommunications, equipments, machineries, and many more. These are the sources that generate and provide ranges of big data that is found in the following examples. The attention of this video is to show What's next once the big data is captured? And the answer is, without any further analysis, big data, it's typically a huge chunk of garbage. It is a garbage of data until and unless further analysis is performed based upon such huge volume of the data. That brings the needs and the importance to understand what are the types of data analytics available. Here are the answers. Data analytics in general refers to tools that use to identify patterns, trends from wide ranges of data, or causality, behaviors, or associations among variables, and many others. These are the main purposes where data analytic tools are needed. So what kind of data analytic tools that is commonly found in the market? Here are the answers. It generally made up of 10 main types of analytic tools. Of the 10, here are the first 4, which referring to the professional insights produced by the ACCA. Of these 4 types of data analytic tools, looking at the first and the second tools, these are the tools that mainly focus on historical data, looking backwards. The 2 of these main analytic tools focusing on historical data, namely descriptive analytic. These are typically referring to, not to mention all, one of the common seen examples are the Excel from Microsoft with the function such as pivot tables, charts, graphs, and many others, which is used to present, which is used to summarize the historical series of data. Once the historical patterns and the findings of the data were presented with the following mechanism, if the user of information or data would need to know what's further, what's behind the scene, we then need to apply the second analytical tools, namely diagnostic analytics. And once again, referring to Microsoft Excel, functions such as correlation, regression studies would be able to identify the interrelationships among variables of the data they collected. However, guys, it is worth taking note. The findings of interrelationship or correlations among the variable does not necessarily reflect causality of 2 or more variables. It is common. The findings of the correlation among the 2 variables could proven to be high, but in fact, there is no causality between the 2 variables. That is something that is worth taking notes. Not to mention, there are many other functionality that found in Excel for diagnostic analysis. For instance, the number of cases of patients that suffer from heat stroke due to hot weather and the sales of ice cream of an ice cream seller. When you put both the data and work out the correlation, it is likely to turn out to have a high positive correlation. However, the number of patients who suffer from heat stroke and the sales of ice cream do not necessarily mean the sales of ice cream is driven by the heat stroke or vice versa. That is what it meant by non-causality. Apart from 2 of these analytic tools, here comes another 2 analytic tools where the main focus is to look at the future, looking forward. Obviously, the main intention to keep an eye on the future, it is for prediction, it is for forecasting. The 2 of these analytic tools, namely predictive analytic, these are mainly refers to, once again, that you found in the Excel's function. Functions such as what if analysis, in other words, sensitivity analysis, and many others, would be a typical functionality demonstrating predictive analytics by showing what's the degree of the change on one variable as a result of setting another variable to be a fictitious reading. Last but not least, when the predictive analytics would have presented ranges of scenarios, what's next? Such finding would turn to be more valuable and relevant and useful for the management if the management will be able to make use of these predictive analytic findings to start turning the information by providing ranges of advices and solutions to the management. This is true particularly in the context of decision making. With these kind of needs, we require another type of analytics tools, namely prescriptive analytics. Referring to the Excel, these are mainly found on the functionality such as solver under Excel and many others. Guys, it is worth to take note, the functionality of what-if analysis and solver that found in Excel will only be accessible only when user subscribed to add-ins under Microsoft Excel. Then only these additional analytic tools will be made available for usage. Apart from these full analytics, here comes 6 others analytic tools that mainly apply to analyze unstructured data. Particularly, the original form of data, it's not in numerical terms. They are like pictures, image, voices, many others. So guys, here are the 6 other types of analytic tools. First, text analytics. These analytic tools is mainly looking at written text, such as by looking at the feedbacks, the complaints from the customers, analyzing through the keywords, the content that found in these complaints. That will help the organizations to identify what's the general issues or weaknesses that the organizations may face and seek for the improvement. The other type of analytics, image analytics, that is where ranges of photos, pictures, or images were based upon for analysis purpose. A common use and a seen example will be in medical sector, especially in the process of health screening processes. The image analytics functions would allow the medical team, the specialist, the doctor, to be able to diagnose with the possible symptoms and illness in a much faster way based upon the pool of the data that matching to the image that's screened on the particular patient's body. Thirdly, speech analytics. That is the kind of analytic tools that based upon the content of the speech from a human being. Not only sensing from the volume, the tune, more importantly, wording in use. From that, it will be able to pick up the general consensus, the general feeling, the general expression, the general experiences of peoples like customers or public at large. The other type of analytics that is very much relating to speech, it's voice analytics. This analytic is no longer focusing on the content, but rather it is on a few other features that was just mentioned a while ago. Volume, pitch, tune, many others are what the voice analytics focusing on in order to pick up the feeling, the emotion of people when it delivered the speech in a certain type and pattern of voice expression. Next, video analytics. By looking at ranges of emotion pictures, which is called videos, that allows the analytics to pick up specific findings or significant information from it. The video shooting monitoring the traffic flow on the road condition at all times will be a typical example of video analytics in order to identify the likelihood of the traffic conditions in an hour or two to come, so that the trafficking police will be able to take precautionary measure to manage and ensuring a smooth traffic flow. With all of these analytics that involve human being, there is an important element of analytics that comes last, that is named sentiment analytics, based upon the tune on the written language, the words that is in use, based upon the body condition, based upon the content of the speech, based upon the tune, the volume of the voices. That comes together, what allows the data user to be able to study what is the likely condition on the human emotions at the point of time. So guys, these, the 4 above and the 6 below, make up the 10 of these analytic tools. Guys, have you think about what makes these analytic tools such a powerful instrument that make use of big data? What's behind the secrets of such a powerful analytic tools? And the answers behind these 10 analytic tools, it's each and every analytic tools is riding on different types and form of algorithms, or in simple, mathematical calculations. So at the end, all the analytic tools is riding on different types of algorithms in order to generate facts, in order to identify trends, pattern, behavior, relationship, etc. So these therefore explain the whole ranges of analytic tools available. And that is one of the key areas of the knowledge required in advanced performance management. So, with the findings from data analytics, the management, the user, would be able to obtain crucial, important, and large amount of information. So what do we do with this information? And the answer, as we mentioned a while ago, it will be used to manage the organization from the perspective of planning, such as resource planning, planning for the route of the vehicle delivery services, planning for utilizations of the machinery, infrastructure, so on and so forth. Other than that, information from data analytics would be able to provide a much more in-depth understanding in order to derive a much accurate decisions to be made, including deriving a complex decision by making use of one of the analytic tools which is described above, called prescriptive analytics. With all the analytics findings, more information will be well aware regarding what has happened in the past based upon diagnostic analytics and prescriptive analytics that we have that allows the performance measurement to be able to study in depth. With these understanding on the performances achieved, that will allow the management of the organizations to better understand the rooms for improvements. So that will lead to performance improvement. And all these efforts are termed performance management. In order for the organization to take advantage riding on big data and data analytics to improve the performance in especially managing the organization, it is far more complex, far more challenging than you may thought of. Reason being, in order to make use of data analytics findings, ranges of changes may be required, particularly referring to the 7S model as identified by McKinsey. Not to mention among all the 7 S's, changes on the roles among the staff, including accountants, and not to mention all other functional staffs, will need to change. Not only the roles of the staff will change, the skills of the staff the style of the management, the strategy, the system, the structure, more importantly, the mindset, shared value would have to change in order to take advantage and riding on the findings from the data analytics. Well, with such a huge opportunity that given rise from data analytics relying on the big data, large opportunity would naturally come with high degree of risks and challenges, particularly pertaining to ethics. In this part of the video, we're not putting too much of focus regarding how wonderful, how beneficial big data will provide, but we would like to focus more into what are the potential challenges and the risks, particularly pertaining to ethics. Here are the answers. By making use of the big data right from the beginning of capturing the big data with the usage of all the technology from the sources that mentioned a while ago, ethical issues such as ownership of data, transparency, privacy, intention, outcomes, all these are the matter of concerns that are rising pertaining to ethical issues on obtaining big data. Not to mention all, given that big data is never owned by the collector, by the organizations of it, every single piece of data is owned by individual, which is the public. So it is therefore a need for the organization to ask for consent from the data owner. And this is why it is common whenever you go into any of the web, when you browse through any of the websites, it is always common to pop up a message asking for your consent by giving you all kinds of the clauses. And at the end, they will either ask you to choose accept or reject all cookies. Next time, if you have this message, read in detail what is in the messages. By clicking accepting all cookies, you are given the consent. You are the data owner. You give the consent to the organizations that is capturing the data with all the technology that mentioned earlier. Obviously, with this kind of freedom for the organizations to capture the data, the organizations ought to make sure that it's a transparent mechanism to let the owner of the data be aware the way, the mechanisms that they're using to capture the data. Once the data is captured, it is the duty of the organizations to try their very best to protect and safeguard about ensuring the security of the data. These explain large technology companies often got fined with a huge amount by the government of several countries as a result of leakage of data, as a result of mismanaged or leaking of the data. Once the data is captured, another ethical issue that is of essential is ensuring the data that you capture is only meeting and fit for use. In other words, organizations should not capture any more data than what they intend to use for. Well, guys, this is a lot easier to say than done. Finally, another ethical dilemma may arise. Big data may originally aim to do something good and beneficial for the organization. However, it is possible to trigger side effects that trigger negative outcome that is less desirable. Example, when organizations and public are overly relying on big data and deciding on data analytics, people tend to lose out self-confidence. People tend to lose out the awareness of judging things based on your own feeling, with your own human values. People tend to judge things based on data analytics findings, and that is the undesired outcome that will affect lifestyle of human mankind. Apart from big data, the usage of different types of algorithms in computing, in deriving all the statistics, may also trigger ethical challenges. Particularly, biased algorithm is often to be found, particularly when data analytics involve machine learning. Machine learning would usually involve with two of these activities, that is where the source of the biases triggered. Guys, you're advised to spend some time, read through the article and the study hub to find out more of this. Finally, let's take a look at how knowledges on data analytics appear in part of the exam questions. This is one of the exam questions which found to be on asking the following requirements. You are asked to respond to the following works requests by the CEO. For the purpose of this demonstration, it is not the intentions of this video in showing the productions of the answer, but I would like to take this opportunity showing how information found in the questions come with the hidden clues about data analytics. In these questions, particularly, it relates to requirement part B, culture and accounting system. By spending some time going through the first exhibit about company information, guys, take a pause in this video, spend some time, go through the content of the first exhibit. This content tells you the background of the organization, the nature of the businesses that this organization is involving in, and the history of the businesses, the structure, the people in the businesses. Then it tells you the challenges, the problem the business is facing. More importantly, it is telling you about the intention to improve and address the issue. As part of the turnaround strategy, the CEO intends to undergo a business process re-engineering commencing from the distribution department. Guys, this is the key that shows data analytics by looking at the last paragraph. Well, after going through the last paragraph, you will notice what the CEO intends to do is to replace the existing paper-based system. As a result of the replacements on the paper-based system, new artificial intelligence algorithm will be brought in and introduced. The purpose of this algorithm is to help the organizations to improve the efficiency in checking outgoing goods delivered against the purchase order in an automatic manner. From that, it will help to remove possibility of errors, mistake, or incorrect delivery. Guys, what do you notice? When the question mentions about algorithm, that is the scene behind data analytics. And having said so, given that there are 10 data analytics, do you still remember which of the analytics is referring to these particular functionality of the algorithm that helps to provide solution to optimize the delivery schedule? Give it a thought, and the answer is the fourth, the prescriptive analytics it is. From these intention, this is what the next exhibit that pertaining to the requirements that was seen a while ago. Since the BPR will be applied across the entire businesses, starting with the distributions department, with these changes, there will be ranges of issues and concerns that the CEO has anticipated. Among all, unrest among the staff regarding the changes in the role of the staff member in line with the new system. Not to mention all, these are all the potential challenges that the CEO need to be deal with the changes in the BPR involving the introductions of data analytics. So therefore, you would like to provide the suggestions to the CEO by giving the CEO an assessment on how this BPR process will change the culture and changing on the accounting information system to the entire organization as a result of the data analytics. This is exactly what I mentioned a while ago, how data analytics would have affected the 7 S's of the organization. And not to mention that the need to bring up the potential, not only the opportunities, but also the potential risk involving the algorithm in use. Guys, this is how the understanding on data analytics will be used in generating fundamental ideas and concepts in order to form the answer in response to the questions that were asked in one of the exam questions. I hope these sessions of the video will give a much better and systematic way in dealing with the questions pertaining to data analytics. With that, take care and enjoy your study.